We're live. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. There's going to be an episode where we're going to talk all about the news. What's going on? Are we ready for October? Are we ready to finally start pumping again? Time will tell. Time will tell. How's my volume? Everything's good. Kaiza, always first in the chat somehow. Kaiza, I don't know how you do it, but I'm impressed. Okay. You are always the first one in the chat. Never miss an episode. Very impressed. Well done. Well done. Yeah, we'll see who pops in here. We're going to give it some time. We got 10 people in here right now. Wait for them to trickle in. I posted the link up on my Twitter if you want. Click on the link, and I should probably also post it on Telegram, but does anybody even watch Telegram these days? I don't even go in Telegram anymore, guys. Bottom of the bear market. I'm over Telegram. I can't be listening to everybody complaining over there. I mean, Twitter's bad enough, am I right? Twitter's awful. Twitter's awful. You got to try to provide value somehow, you know. Hey, what's going on? Second. Yeah, it's okay. You still get points for being second. Just not as many points. But hey, DJ Bomber, Gates, hello. Man, you, what's up, dude? Hey, everybody. Good to see everybody. What's my take on something about Cardano? I don't know much about it, but I'm not super bullish on Cardano, to be honest with you. It had its pump. It's been around for a long time. There's no activity on Cardano, too. I mean, you could look at the actual on-chain statistics. Look at the TVL on their actual decentralized exchange. Look at the number of daily active users. Let me see. Daily active users, Cardano. Well, this was back in, it says 35,000. I'm not sure that's true. But it's also been around for a long time, right? Let's see. And of course, some certain websites are I got to get the actual on-chain metrics. I can't just trust that a website is going to be honest with me right now. Like an article, you know what I mean? But I don't know. That's not where I place my bets. It's probably not going to do bad. I don't mean this is not going to be bashing Cardano. Hey, look, guys, let's bring it back to PulseChain. If you're new here, if you're not aware of what's going on, October, it's coming. We're finally done. Wake me up when September ends. Well, it ended. It's almost over. Okay. We got the full moon today. Fun fact, everyone, today is the full moon. It's a harvest super moon. I think that just means that the moon is like closer to us in terms of distance in this particular time. But here's the thing, guys. I always say tongue in cheek. Basically, a lot of people go by moon cycles. New moons are good for the price. Full moons are bad for the price. And this is just a pattern. We don't know why, but chaos tends to happen on the full moons, right? You can ask any paramedic, ask any, fireman, police officer. They don't know why, but people, they got that dog in them. They got that werewolf energy going on the full moon. And we can't really explain it. And there might be something to it. There might not be. I've read statistics that confirm higher volatility during moon cycles, new moon and full moon. A new moon, guys, is when there's no moon, when you can't see anything. But, you look at the prices today. Let's pull up gopulse.com. Look at the prices today, and we're flatlined, okay? So we're not moving today. Got 0%. PulseChain hasn't moved in 24 hours. HEX down 1%. PulseX hasn't moved. INC minus 1%. So the prices aren't moving. So it doesn't mean just because there's a full moon that it's a guaranteed price has to go down or the guaranteed price has to go up on a full moon. So you guys got to take everything with a grain of salt. All right. Everyone out there, they're pretending like they know. They got their crystal ball. They're like, ooh, I see the moon cycles. Guys, everyone's like, oh, there's going to be an apocalypse on September 24th or something. Where's the apocalypse? I'm still waiting for my Black Swan event, guys. I'm still waiting for my Black Swan. Nothing happened. So a broken clock is right twice a week. And if you listen to all these doom and gloomers, these doom and gloomers, you go back in their history and they've been saying, there's some people out there that just be like, bear market, recession, end of the world. And they'll say this every single year. Like, I'm predicting the world's worst bear market in 2025. And then it comes to 2025. Like, well, now I predicted in 2026. And then one day they're going to be right. 1 year, those doom and gloom guys, they were correct in 2022, 2023. Good job, guys. Good job, guys. You got to be right. But now can we go back up, please? Can we please go back up? Because I'm ready, guys. I'm ready for October. I don't know about you. Liquid Loans is launching in October, by the way. And if you guys don't remember this, why this is a big deal is because Liquid Loans was one of the first sacrifices besides PulseChain and PulseX. It was one of the first companies to commit to building something Okay, it was like one of the first big ones, and it was a really big one. And because they launched, it's all about the timing, right? It's all about the timing of when they collected money, basically, because they were the first project to collect money, and it was kind of near the top of the bull market. I don't remember the date exactly. Does anybody have the exact date? We can look this up. Basically, Hex was at like 30 cents, 40 cents back then. So everybody had a shit ton of money. Everybody was happy. People were partying in the streets, as your friend Somi would say. They would party naked. Everyone had their pants down, myself included. So I chucked a pretty hefty amount of Hex. I think it was Hex. I forgot what I donated. Donated, right? Into the sacrifice phase. And hold on a second, guys. I forgot to do one little thing here. Turn that on, and we're good to go. Cool. All right. So what I'm saying is a lot of people put a lot of money in, and because of that, a lot of people are going to be in at higher valuations. They're probably going to be very happy because if you sacrificed money at those higher valuations, you basically took it off the table, and you could assume you're getting roughly, let's say you sacrificed $10,000, right? Even if you only get $5,000 of tokens today, it's still better than, holding those coins down 90% because you kind of scrape some off the top into a different project. You rotated them out. And that's why it's sometimes it's a good thing to divest in a bull market, right? It's harder to raise money in a bear market. Everybody knows this, but a lot of people look, even if our valuation of our coins is worth like 80% or 70% of what we originally sacked for, at least it's not down 90%. You know what I mean? So that's why I think a lot of people are going to be happy, myself included. We're going to see my play when Liquid Loans launches. I might take profit. It depends how big the pump is, right? If we get a 2x pump right out the gate, I'll probably sell on a double and buy back when it dumps again because we're still in bear market territory, guys. We're still in bear market territory. But, I still do want my stack of Liquid Loans. When I say take profit and buy back, it's going to be I don't recommend this for almost anybody just because no one's going to do it right. They're going to get all mad, want to blame somebody else for their own mistakes, right? That's what people love to do. That no one wants to take responsibility for themselves, do they? But no, I still want my stack of loan tokens because basically what the loan token will allow you to do is you could stake it in the platform and earn a percentage of all the fees, very similar to the Fame token, very similar to the Fiat token. It's a very popular revenue sharing model. Okay. I mean, that's basically one of the better use cases for a token these days is you build a protocol and you make a token to share the platform fees. So rather than, JP Morgan, what is it? JP Mosquito, Goldman Slugs. Shout out to your friend Somi. I'd like to imagine he's listening right now. That guy's working harder than anyone else in crypto right now, guys. I mean, come on. Who else is doing it better than 3 videos a day? I think the man's on his 1,000th video. So shout out Somi. Sami. Not sure if I'm saying that right. And yeah, bro, we watch the same YouTube videos. We have the same taste in music. And we wear the same fuzzy slippers and we drink the same juice with 3 ice cubes. Cheers. Liquid Loans launching. This is actually ginseng tea, by the way. Ginseng tea is really, really bitter. It's not that good. I tried putting some sugar in it to make it suck a little bit less, but man, it's got this really bitter taste. All right. Liquid Loans launching. What else is launching? Mintra. So basically my final 2 sacrifice projects that haven't launched yet are launching in October, allegedly. Now, Mintra is a little less certain, but Liquid Loans seemed pretty certain about it. Of course, there can be delays. Of course, there can always be delays, but they've already delayed the project by like 3 to 4 months, and that was because of the Fetch Oracle. They needed an Oracle, basically an accurate price feed, and they decided to build it in-house rather than using Chainlink or something like that. Because obviously, I mean, you'd have to fork. It's really complicated, okay? It's so complicated that we don't even know, like everyone gets mad about them taking so long, but having a good price feed in Oracle is way more important than waiting an extra 3 months, okay? Especially in a bear market where the prices are just going to go down anyway. Everyone's still super bearish anyway, so what do we care, right? Take the time in the bear market to build out the product. But what it seems like that Fetch Oracle, and you can go follow the Fetch Oracle on Twitter and Telegram if you want updates, but I would get the impression that it's like pretty much done because, I mean, the Liquid Loans guy, Crypto Crazy, he made a video and he mentioned the word October like 4 times. All right. He said, we're launching in October, blah, 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 blah. We're launching in October again and blah, 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 blah. And by the way, did I mention that we're launching in October and October? So I think they're pretty okay with October. Walrus seems to agree. So hey, this guy's watching from Taiwan. Hey, Full Moon Festival. I love the Full Moon Festival. I've been to the Full Moon Festival in Thailand, not Taiwan. But cheers to you, Sari. Have a good time tonight. What is it? Is it nighttime over there? Are you 12 hours behind or something? You're on the other side of planet Earth right now. So cheers and enjoy that Full Moon Festival, bro. Watch out for those alcohol buckets. And careful with the milkshakes. Careful with the milkshakes, buddy. But man, I'm kind of jealous. I've never been to Taiwan. Watch me get banned for saying that. Just kidding, China. Just kidding. I believe, guys. I believe. A wild SJ appears. Hello, SJ. Senor Espresso. Hola, senor. Unfortunately, I locked my loan for 6 months. Ah, that's right. Thanks for reminding me. I actually locked my loan. I only locked half of my loan, but I locked half my loan token for some kind of a vesting schedule. I think it was 6 months, 12 months. I forgot. That's okay. That's okay. Mega Ini T is better. I've never heard of that one, dude. Never heard of that one. Full moon party in Thailand is unreal. Yeah, dude. If you guys ever get a chance to go, I actually went when I was studying abroad in Australia back in the day. People don't know this. I lived in Australia for 4 months, maybe 5 months, and fucking had the best time of my life. So I always got a soft spot in my heart for the Aussies. They're a fun group of people, and they're wild people, man. But they also, it's kind of more popular in Australia to go on your spring break trip to Thailand because you're much closer in terms of on planet Earth. You're much closer to Thailand. It's only like a 6-hour flight as opposed to, I don't know, a 20-hour flight from the States, from where I live. So, if you get a chance to go Southeast Asia, a lot of people, some people also did the whole Cambodia, Vietnam trifecta. Some people, I know a guy that rented a motorcycle and he actually bought a motorcycle from some dude, just went straight from Thailand to Cambodia to Vietnam. And then somehow he made it home alive. He told me he had this crazy story about how he fell in a booby trap in the woods. I don't even know. It was one of those stories where it was so crazy that you don't know whether to believe it. God, man, I'm just happy to be alive after Thailand. That was a good time. Also stayed in a national park for like a couple of days in the most remote place I've ever been to. So stayed on like these floating bungalows. You locked mine. I locked mine for 2 years. No, DJ Balmer. Oof. Locked mine for 2 years. That's funny, man. If only we knew how bad the bear market would be, right, guys? If only we knew. I think I've got some liquid. But I think I might have. I gotta go check on mine. Thanks for reminding me again, guys. Thanks for reminding me. You are crazy if you want to drive cross country in Thailand, lol. Yeah, hey, man, wasn't me. A friend of mine, though. A friend of mine did that. And then Mintra, guys, for people that don't know, Mintra is the NFT platform. Gerardo's been working on it and his team. Mintra is going to be one of the bigger NFT platforms because they're copying LooksRare. LooksRare was known to have kind of the best token model when it came to NFTs and profit sharing. But dude, PulseChain's got like 20 NFT platforms now. I can't even keep track of them all, dude. We got Pixel Park is still not out. That's the Power City one. And then we've got I've heard at least 10 other people say, I'm launching my NFT platform. It's like, God dang it, guys. How many do we need? And how do you know which one's going to be the right one? So I just placed my bet a long time ago on Gerardo and Mintra. Tiny bet, by the way. I don't like NFTs. I don't care about them, but I'm betting on Mintra to do okay. And maybe it won't. Maybe it won't. But these other guys, Pixel Park seems to stand a chance, but do we really need 20 NFT websites? I just don't know, guys. I just don't know. Maybe we do. Maybe I don't know about NFTs, but seems like they've crashed 95%. If you've read the news lately, NFTs are down 95%. Finally, because they've been lagging. They've been lagging regular crypto. NFTs, they topped way after crypto. You remember when we were falling, FTX was crashing and all this stuff? Somehow people were still buying monkey JPEGs for thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. Now they've lost all their money finally. Justin Bieber's Bored Ape is worth what, 30K? He paid $3 million for it. So, hey, if Bieber's poor now, I think we're all in the gutter here, okay? I'm from Canada, Nazi Trudeau lovers. Oh God, you're gonna get me banned, bro. Good thing I don't live in Canada, so. Ooh. I don't even remember if I sacked, Daniel says. How can we check our sacks on liquid loans? Good question, sir. There's actually a website. You can check your sacrifice on liquid loans. It's you You go to HEX Pulse Info/sacrifice. I'll put that link in the chat. HEX Pulse Info/sacrifice. All right, guys, because I got to go check on mine as well and see what I did. You remember it had to do with the decimal point that you put at the end of the sacrifice was how many months you wanted that sack to be staked for, right? So if you did like, $1,000 and 12 cents, I think that was like that meant you wanted the stake for 12 months. I believe if I'm remembering correctly. It was so long ago. It feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it, guys? Doesn't it? Well, it's going to be in the next 30 days. It could be 2 days from now, and it could be 32 days from now. But hey, we've waited longer than a month for stuff before, haven't we? Somebody asks, is 11K in Prey still a thing? I don't believe so. I think Richard was expecting more Doom, and I think we've been hovering around. I don't think we're going to get that 11K. It'd have to be really catastrophic. And here's the reason why, guys. Here's a couple of certain things that we know. We know the Bitcoin halving is coming up, okay? That's a mathematical fact. It's just something we know. It's baked into the Bitcoin code. Now, does it really matter? Does Bitcoin really matter? Not really. You're not going to get crazy gains. You'd be lucky to get a 5x on Bitcoin, okay? 5x, maybe from here if we're lucky. Maybe you probably get a 3x because we probably top out at 75K, right? Maybe 100K, you get a 4x. Congratulations. But the halving is coming up, and you can't ignore that. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. The Bitcoin maxis are screaming it from the rooftops. Everybody thinks that it matters, and so therefore it does matter, okay? The supply shock, yeah. They're going to craft whatever. Oh, now the Bitcoin miners don't have to dump as much. Yeah, they still have the same price electricity bills, right? So they actually have to dump more. It doesn't matter. Okay. People think that the halving is good for price. Therefore, it is also. Grayscale premium is disappearing. I don't hear a lot of people talking about this. The deficit, the discount at the Grayscale net asset value to spot price is going back down. Let's take a look at that, okay? Grayscale discounts. Premium or discount to NAV, net asset value. Wow, yeah, it's really closed the gap, okay? We used to be at a negative 47% gap down from Bitcoin's price on GBTC, paper Bitcoin versus real Bitcoin. Now we're sitting at negative 22%. So we've closed the gap over halfway. Over halfway is a big deal. Why? Why did we close it over halfway? It's because of the ETF approval. So that's another thing that we can be certain is happening. Relatively certain. I mean, 99% chance. Okay. Why do we know this? Well, the SEC just delayed the approval again, right? They just delayed it again. So they were supposed to make a decision on last month in August, and then they just kicked the can down the road till November, December. I believe they kicked the can into 2024 because that's what they love to do. God forbid the SEC actually makes a decision and gets their shit together, right? God forbid anybody with a spine at the SEC actually takes a stance on anything rather than collects money for their crony capitalist friends at Goldman Slugs. Wow, guys. Wow. Would it be so hard to just say, yes, I approve it, don't worry. But they're going to delay it a little bit. And this is a good thing because, it's actually not long-term bearish, but it's short-term bullish. So these two things that we know are happening, Bitcoin ETF approval sometime in 2024, Bitcoin halving definitely in April. Okay. We know it's going to be in April 24. So that's like beginning of Q2. Okay. These things are happening and they're short-term bullish and they're long-term bearish. Okay. Bearish for Bitcoin because miners aren't going to be profitable for that long because on the mining side. And also because when you can print as much paper Bitcoin as you want, or when you can print as much money as you want, you can dump the crap out of the paper Bitcoin price and then the real spot markets will follow. Okay. But the gap is closing because when people know that they can buy a spot Bitcoin ETF, which actually has rights of redemption, and they know they're going to be able to very soon, they're closing the gap because they're buying up GBTC right now at a discount. And one day they're going to be able to trade that for an ETF that actually has rights of redemption, meaning that it's kind of the easiest trade of all time. This is like the easiest 20% of all time right now to make for institutions because institutions can buy it at negative 22%. They can wait till the spot ETF comes out. They can trade the GBTC for whatever the ETF is called, and they would have already made the difference. Or they just sell the GBTC because everyone else did that and the gap got closed. And if you can redeem one GBTC for the exact amount of Bitcoin that it's worth, then theoretically there should be no gap. There should be no discount. The only reason there's a discount is because you can't get out of GBTC. You can't convert GBTC to regular Bitcoin. but you will be able to with the new ETFs. Okay, so that's how the gap is closing. You get it? All right. Thanks for not cutting over my RG stream later. Oh, sure, dude. I can't keep track of anyone's stream, so for trying to ask me to keep track of everybody's stream is not something that's in my wheelhouse. I'm not capable of it. Don't have the time of day, but sure. Glad I'm not overlapping. Red Squirrel says $20,000 is still in play. Credit to Doza. That's cool, man. That's cool. I don't even know what that means. 20K is still in. Oh, you mean, what do you mean 20K Bitcoin? Sure. 20K Bitcoin. I thought we were talking about 11K Bitcoin now. 11K, right? What else do we have to talk about, guys? We have certainty in Bitcoin. We have certainty that there's going to be a halving. We have certainty that there's going to be an ETF. So you got to be bullish in the near term, guys. Sometime in 24 or 25, things are going to get okay again. Things are going to come back. It's going to be okay. We might not get new all-time highs right away. Obviously, things just don't go up and to the right in a straight line. But you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean? We're going to be fine. We're all going to make it, everybody. We're all going to make it. Grayscale closes the deficit. And we got to just remember that, guys. Don't get distracted. I see a lot of distractions with the meme coins, the buffoonery out here. And it's tempting, right? PDI, the pegging. I hope it happens. It's bringing engagement. People are having fun. But you got to ask yourself, how much money did you actually stack into your primary positions over the past 2 months? And how much time did you waste chasing stupid meme coins? Because the 2 or 3 that pumped, maybe they pumped 10x. And congratulations, some people made... You turned $100 into $500. Great. And then maybe you lost $200 on the next one. And you scrolled through Twitter every day. You doom scroll through Twitter. You bought into the drama. You bought into all the made up engagement bait, because they're all engagement baiting you out there, guys. It's all engagement bait. And you didn't build up your primary positions because you were distracted by meme coin shitcoinery, right? And I was too. I still am, right? I'm tempted to, I want to buy some of these shit coins. I really do. I really, really want to put $100 in here and there. But after doing that 2 or 3 times, PDI, I did okay. And then I tried on a couple of other ones and I was just like, yeah, I just lost $100. And I just like doom scrolled Twitter for 2 days and I learned nothing. And I totally neglected my PulseChain bag. So I want to talk about actually focusing on the mission, the primary mission. I mean, the blue chips to me, and you could disagree with me, right? We don't all have to talk. We don't all have to have the same bags. Okay. If you think Doge, Shiba Inu plus Elon baby Dogecoin is going to be the future, it's going to be around for longer than 6 months, then you can put all your money in there and see what happens. Okay. But I know that the layer 1 coins, cycle 1 coins do pretty well. PulseChain, PulseX, obviously Richard Heart coin doesn't have to pump, but because they're liquidity bonded, it probably will. And then HEX, of course, Fanatic community, product market fit, 100% uptime, the safest way to earn yield in DeFi. Yield farms get hacked all around us. But you know what? You got to actually believe in what you're holding. And a lot of people out here, they don't actually believe in these meme coins. Well, they'll believe up until they sell their bag in 2 months, right? So playing short-term games, you're going to win a couple $100. But I'm playing a long-term game. And that's just the difference between a lot of this stuff is like, I'm trying to play a long-term game here. And a lot of people think that, they've lost the plot because they got bored and they think, oh, I'm just going to make my own meme coin. And then I'll get rich that way because all new coins pump. And that's not true, right? Like all new coins don't pump. They don't have to pump just because you created a coin. I can go make coffee coin tomorrow. And it'd probably do pretty good. I could probably trick people into buying it, but because I wouldn't actually believe in it myself, I would feel disingenuous trying to show like my own coffee coin that I just invented, right? But I can, the people are crafting these narratives like, oh, this one is meant to pump WBTC and PWBTC. And it's like, okay, bro, like maybe, but that coin was just created by some guy that we don't know. We don't know who's creating all these coins, the 414 address. And that's okay, man. I'm all here for the fun and games, the engagement. I'm not mad about it at all. I'm giving myself a reminder just as much as I'm trying to give everyone else a reminder that it's really it's a net distraction when you ask yourself over the past 3 months, how much time did I waste? How much money did I lose or make versus how much time could I have just spent, yield farming and recompounding? I'd actually almost rather people start making new yield farms instead of new meme coins. Okay. Like we've got 1,000 meme coins and it's getting a little bit played out. I feel, we're coming up in October now. I don't know how much longer the PDI hype can sustain itself. I hope I hope that whatever PDI influencers are out there, I hope they keep shilling them. I hope they keep shilling their bags and people buy it up to $1, but I'm not buying it personally. I'm not putting new money into PDI. I'm putting new money into PulseChain and HEX and PulseX. Okay. And I'm putting a lot of that money in that I'm getting from yield farms as well. So I don't think more yield farms would be a bad thing. You know, it's just that there's a lot of crap yield farms out there, but a bad yield farm, as long as it doesn't get hacked, as long as it's safe, a bad yield farm just ends up with a shorter lifespan, but people can still make money on them as long as they're on the right side of the trade, right? So I would love to see more legitimate yield farms. Like SparkSwap has been paying me out, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You know, it's a lot of money. Okay, like it's good money over there. Or like, you know, I made a whole video about yield farms. Daytona Finance, right? Daytona's fine. I mean, but like the thing is, like the yield dries up, so they have a short lifespan too. And people are always trying to put like different ways of enhancing their yield farm. You know, a lot of the farm tokens have low liquidity to begin with, and that's not a great thing because low liquidity just means that people can dump the token down faster too. People get $1,000 of the token. The chart just looks worse if there's lower liquidity. Thicker liquidity can stabilize the price for a longer period of time. And there's also tricky things people can do, like the sparkler, right? The ability to stake LP tokens and earn more of the yield token. It's kind of a creative idea. It's the first time I saw that. You got other things though, like you got the 4% in and out fee that people don't love. And especially when it starts to take a month or two to recoup that 4% exit and entry fee, people just aren't even interested, right? People go to these yield farms and they say, well, at least I can make the 4% fee back in 2 weeks, or maybe I can make it back in a month. Now it's like, oh man, some of these farms you go there and it's like, it's going to take me 3 months just to make back the 4% like entry fee, because there's a 4% entry fee for some of these farms and some of these pools, and they just don't care. They're like, oh, people keep dumping this token anyway, I'm going to move on, right? So, and then, you know, you've got other farms, Impulse or whatever, that tried, you know, there's no entry and exit fee. Well, there's no entry and exit fee, but they're also, I mean, there's not a whole lot of liquidity. I don't know what the answer is to keep people engaged in yield farms. You know, it's like marketing, streaming, getting out there and actually getting on YouTube or Twitter Spaces, stuff like that. Liquidity definitely has a little bit to do with it. Daytona, they added a referral program, which is cool, but then it's like people don't want to do any work, man. People are so goddamn lazy. They're like, oh, referral program, great. Oh, wait, that means I actually have to refer people. Like I actually have to get off my ass and go talk to somebody else. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to do any work. People just sit and they lurk in Telegram and they hope and they pray that other people are going to pump their bags for them. So you're welcome, guys. PulseChain, HEX, they're here to stay. PulseChain, cheaper, faster Ethereum. HEX, better Bitcoin, 100% uptime. Yield, trustless interest. And I think they're set to do amazing in the bull run. So, of course, I've got a bag. Of course, I'm talking my own bag. Oh, Crypto Coffee is biased. Yes, I am biased. I'm biased towards better stuff that I think is better. Everybody's biased. Anyone telling you, oh, I'm unbiased. It's my unbiased opinion, man. It's like, no, dude, you have a bag of the coin and you're talking your bag. You're all doing it. Everybody's doing it. Okay. Like, look at Altcoin Daily. I'm going to pick on Altcoin Daily a little bit. Friendly. Okay. Every single interview Altcoin Daily does with somebody else, they will ask the question, so what do you think about Solana? How do you think Solana is going to do in the next cycle? It's like, bro, tell me you bought a bag of Solana without telling me you bought a bag of Solana. All right. It's so obvious. It's painfully obvious. And then everyone's falling for the engagement bait. And they're like, oh, maybe Solana, maybe these guys are my friends. Maybe they're not a bunch of VC insiders that are just going to dump on me at a 10x. Maybe Solana's good. Maybe it doesn't go down all the time. Maybe it wasn't FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried coin. Like how quickly people forget, right? But yeah, it's neither here nor there. It's just that everyone's pumping their bags. I'm giving you reasons why it's better, right? We're not reinventing the wheel here. HEX is not reinventing the wheel. It's a modular, safer Bitcoin, literally 100% uptime. It's very, very rare in crypto to have 100% uptime. Very, very rare. And it's like, what else is going to pay you 20% APY to hold for the long term, to protect yourself from yourself, save you from your own psychology, and just set it and forget it until the bull market's back? You don't even have to know when the bull market's back. You can make a staking ladder. Like people forgot that they could stake their HEX, right? It's like you just put away a couple grand in the bear market, you stake it until prices are higher. Hopefully you've got some stakes ending around then. Then you take your profit when hopefully prices are higher, assuming that they will be higher in, 2 to 3 to 4 years. And maybe you even call me crazy. Maybe you're thinking longer than one cycle. A lot of people aren't even thinking longer than one cycle, right? It's like a lot of people, they're leaving this all up to total chance and probability. Like it's all random, but people forgot that they can just get up and talk about their bags. They can speak reality into existence. People forgot that they can actually go out and, tell the world about it. And this only works with adoption, right? Network effects, Metcalfe's law. It's a real thing. Hart's law, the rising tide lifts all ships, liquidity bonding. It's all real, but it all starts with people taking action. And I feel like people don't feel like they have the power to actually get up and change reality. But this stuff only works if you tell other people about it. And the Bitcoiners are doing their thing. The Ethereum boys are doing their thing. And you've got 90,000 meme coin degenerates shilling their individual. That it's got diminishing returns, right? So I'm just saying maybe we need to concentrate the effort back a little bit. Maybe not. Otherwise, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. DJ all you want. Hey, as long as you're playing in PulseChain, it's a net positive for me, right? Net positive for everyone else in the network too, because you got to buy Pulse as the gateway drug. You know what I mean? So people need to buy PLS before they can go degenning on all this yield farms and meme coins. And I'm doing this stuff too. I'm doing yield farms. I'm doing PHUX. I'm doing Fame. I'm doing Fiat, PHIAT. But yeah, I just feel like a lot of people don't realize that they can actually change the outcome with action and effort, And people are like, oh, well, you barely ever stream. Yeah, I've been working on my course, actually, believe it or not. I've been working every single day behind the scenes on a new course to onboard people into crypto, and specifically to onboard people into the PulseChain ecosystem. Not telling them when to buy or how much to buy, but look, just basic education, because when the new wave comes, there's 600 million people that are probably going to come into crypto in the next cycle. We could get up to 1 billion users globally, okay? And these people are going to have no idea how to do MetaMask. They're going to have their little PayPal app, and they're going to think that that's real crypto. And we got to explain, no, real DeFi, freedom of speech is PulseChain, okay? PulseChain is true, real DeFi, decentralized finance. The government can't shut it off, and we got to be able to teach them that. So I'm making a beginner's course. Like I've already made one in the past, but this is version 2 because we've got a lot of new shit to worry about now. We've got a lot of new stuff to learn. You'll learn all about PulseX, yield farming, PulseChain, how to be a validator, HEX staking. That's not going anywhere. Of course, that's going to be part of the course. But that's what I'm doing behind the scenes. And it's a win-win because it's got an affiliate program. So other people you guys, if you want, can sell it on my behalf. And then you get a revenue split of 60-40. Okay. It's a very, very generous referral program. So imagine getting paid to shill PulseChain. That's what I'm working on behind the scenes. And people are like, oh, great. He's just chilling another course. Yeah. It's like people are just going to talk shit no matter what. So, people are going to just complain and whine no matter what. If you try to do anything in the world, I promise you this, everybody, people are just going to flap their lips because they're miserable, and misery loves company, right? And they just want you to feel sad because they feel sad. So rather than sitting around feeling sorry for myself, I'm up here trying to do something about the future, trying to affect, the world that I want to see, trying to shill my cryptos, pump all of our bags. And yeah, so I've been taking a break from mainstream streaming because, or public streaming, I guess, because I've been doing a lot of course content, right? But yeah, where was I? Randomness versus controlling the outcome. We all have the power, dude. We all have the freedom of speech. We have the ability to hop on, get a fancy camera, makes you look more legit, and get a microphone. And it's all gonna come back, guys. The bull market's gonna come back. I could show you some lines on a chart, but you guys wouldn't care. I mean, maybe you would. Some people like those lines. People like, oh, we got resistance points, Fibonacci's. Yay, I feel better now. We're all just crafting narratives. We're storytelling. We're storytelling. And that makes people feel good in the short term of like getting some sense of potentially knowing where the price is going to go in 1 week or 1 month. But I'm up here telling you, I don't actually know, and I'm not going to pretend to know. I can draw you a Fibonacci line, but what would that actually do for you, right? You'd get some false sense of security that you know where the price is going next week, which doesn't matter if we're talking about where the price is going in 1 year or 2 years, okay? We all believe that crypto's coming back. I mean, it has to. It has to because I invested in it. No, I'm just kidding. It has to, though. because this is the new wave of finance. This is decentralized money. It's the separation of money and state, okay? Bringing the power back to the people. And governments are in the then they fight you stage, right? But luckily for us, they're all 90 years old. That one girl just died today. Hey, progress is made one funeral at a time. You know what I mean? And especially in politics, because these old people, they don't change their mind. And I really believe crypto in politics it's not a left and right, blue and red issue. It's an age issue. It's a generational issue. There's a disconnect because the boomers think that, Pokemon cards on the blockchain are somehow a security. So Gary Guzzler, the semen demon, thinks Pikachu's a security. And they just don't know. They don't understand. That woman, what's her name? The woman that looks like she's like melting. Maxine Waters, I think. She called Bitcoin Bitcom. Like she thinks we're talking about something called Bitcom. Like it's like some company. I guarantee you, some of these old people, these 80, 90-year-old geriatric fucks that are in office, they think Bitcoin is like a company or something. They just don't understand that, well, where does the value come from? It comes from other people's shared fiction and belief in the value. Where does the value of the dollar come from? We got better money, okay? So freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, not censorship resistant. The bank can't shut it off if they don't like where you're spending your money. That's really the value of all this stuff, guys. It almost doesn't even matter whether you buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or PulseChain or HEX. It's all better than the US dollar, right? But if you want more gains, I would go to the newer stuff, right? And that's something cool about HEX too that people don't talk about is that PHEX, guys, PHEX actually restarted the chart over again from square one. It's like people say, oh, well, HEX is on its second cycle, but go on dexscreener.com, go to the HEX chart. It doesn't look that way. So sneaky little trick there. By resetting the HEX price chart, we might be able to capture some more gains as if it was a first cycle coin, especially in PHEX. And I know people are drifting more towards PHEX than EHEX. I definitely am. But I'm not selling my EHEX either. But I'm waiting to see what's going to happen on that, guys. I'm waiting. So, man, I keep going like all over the place. What do you guys want to talk about? Let me go back to the chat. Old zombie gone. Look, I don't want to dance on anyone's grave. It's very sad when somebody passes away. Like that could have been your grandma and stuff, but there's such an obvious lack of understanding of what we're doing here. And what we're doing here is we're bringing the power back to the people. And maybe we get to even get rich in the process, right? But at least I know that whether my coin goes up 10x or 100x, you can't tell me where to spend my money. Not by you, I mean, the government, whatever. It's awesome, guys. It's really awesome. And although we're in the then they fight you stage, if this is as bad as it's going to get, it's almost a blessing in disguise of, the SEC is like floundering. People have said there's a civil war happening in Congress over cryptocurrency. Everyone seems to be split on the idea. But again, it's not red versus blue. It's old versus new, right? It's old people versus, I guess, people. Well, I mean, even old people, they're not dumb. There's plenty of 60, 70-year-old people that understand crypto. I know a lot of them. I know a lot of you guys out there probably watching, might be 60, 70 years old. And you understand crypto, but it's just like, I guess, openness. A lot of people aren't open-minded and they'll die without understanding the new reality, without understanding the new paradigm, the parallel financial system that we're building. So it doesn't matter, but you're going to get a 10x or a 100x or 1,000x maybe. And I would just like to be on, the winning team, but really they're all going to win, right? You can go buy Bitcoin if you like wimpy gains and you're still going to be fine. You can buy Bitcoin, get a 5x and call it a day. And that might be life-changing for some people. You know what I mean? Like Bitcoin 5x in the stock market or anywhere, like anywhere, real estate, you talk about a 5x and that's just like, yeah, maybe in a decade, but Bitcoin can do it in 2 years. Ethereum can do it in 2 months. You know what I mean? Congress threatening to impeach the semen demon. Look, if you're commissioner of the SEC, right, or chairman of the SEC, I don't think you get impeached. I mean, maybe you can. You get fired. Like impeaching, I think, is a term reserved for the president. But yeah, they're talking about firing him, and that would come in the form of a restructuring. Okay, so they've drafted a bill, especially that Warren guy, Senator Warren. That dude's awesome. There's a lot of very pro crypto congressmen and women that have a really good handle on this, guys. I mean, you've got the Wyoming senator. I forgot Senator Lummis. You got a lot of pro crypto people up there fighting. And luckily, you've got a lot of rich lobbyists as well. Like, you got to be lucky that Coinbase is out there love them or hate them, they're a necessary evil because Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, is the one with all the money lobbying on Capitol Hill, lobbying to Congress, getting up there in Washington, D.C., and making stuff happen. Okay, what are we all doing? What are we all doing? So they've actually drafted a restructure the SEC bill. I don't know whether that's going to get passed or not. It'd be nice if it did. I'd imagine if it did, it would probably happen after the election because nobody gets anything done during election year. It's just it's every man for themselves. They're all making smear campaigns. They're playing the dirty politics game, and nobody cares about what's happening for the American people. They just want to win. It's just politics is just it's just Hollywood for ugly people, right? Somebody says, fuck politicians. Yeah, I hate talking about it too. It's such a waste of time. But what we got to realize, what we got to do is what's in our control, right? And what's in our control is, let's talk about the Richard Hart case, right? The Richard Hart case is not really as bad. Like, I know it seems bad. People don't like it, but look at it this way. The SEC only goes after you if you're successful, okay? And they're suing everybody out here, but Google SEC sues crypto. Google those words, right? And you'll find tons of articles. You'll probably find 20 articles right on the homepage of the SEC suing Justin Sun or Binance or Kraken or Coinbase. They really don't like Binance, but Binance is going to be fine, right? Maybe they drive Binance out of the USA. Guess what? 98% of all trading volume is done outside of the USA on Binance, okay? Binance had the top trading volume in the world in history. They had record volumes. And that was after there was a 98% drop in the USA volume. Binance US went down 98%, and Binance had the best month of its life still. Okay. So yeah, America's got it. I mean, the bureaucrats, the 3-letter unelected agencies that are in office for life, unless fired, hopefully, they don't care about, they don't care about you or I or protecting the American public, obviously, but they also have their head so far up their ass that they don't realize that America is not the rest of the world, and you can't police the entire world, even though America thinks that they can. So look at this. The SEC doesn't matter as much as people think, right? XRP, they won against the SEC. Yay, they won. The price pumped 50%. And then guess what? It's a bear market. And 2 weeks later, the price dipped right back down, 50% down. So they got a little pump and then it dumped, and then nobody cares. Nobody cares is what I'm saying. If you sue everybody, it takes the power out of it. If you sue everybody, it's almost just like, well, okay, it's like the boy that cried wolf, right? If everything's a security, then who cares? Nothing's a security. Who even cares about being a security anymore, right? Like the SEC is making a joke out of itself, right? And we can buy all this stuff in a decentralized way. They can't stop you from buying HEX. They can't stop you from buying PulseChain. They can't stop you from buying PulseX. They can make it a little harder. But look, we've got Change Now. You can go to changenow.io, and for a 5% fee, you can buy PulseChain right now using Ethereum. Or you could do it, the harder way. Buy from Coinbase, transfer ETH to MetaMask, buy wrapped Pulse on Uniswap, bridge the Pulse over to PulseChain, and then buy whatever the hell you want on PulseX, because we are real DeFi. We're really decentralized, freedom of speech. Okay, they can't stop you from buying it. They can try to scare people, but again, if you sue everybody and their mother out here, hide your kids, hide your wife, like, it's like how it has diminishing returns in terms of the fear that it can actually intimidate people with. And the SEC doesn't put people in jail. They're not a criminal agency. They're civil. Richard might get a fine at the worst case. Oh, no. But he's probably going to fight the SEC. Who cares? We can still pump with or without an SEC lawsuit. It's all that matters is the mass psychology. All that matters is the mass consciousness of the hive mind of the internet and the network effects, okay? All that matters is onboarding new people and not being scared yourself, number one, because you know that they can't shut these off because it's real DeFi. And if you're not scared, then the onboards won't be scared, and we can all buy this stuff and we can pump with or without it, right? Like in a bear market, with or without the SEC, we'd have a narrative spun in a negative way because people don't want to be optimistic. And in a bull market, we'll probably spin with or without an SEC violation case. If you had a SEC case, then the narrative is Richard's going to beat the SEC. We're on a crusade together. We're going to war. And if he beats the SEC, yay, Richard Hart beat the SEC. We're going to pump even more. It's like the news of the day doesn't matter as much as the general sentiment of the masses, of the herd. Okay. When you sue everybody, it takes the fear out. You call everything a security and nobody cares anymore. All right, that's where I'm at with it. I was really pissed off at first. When I first read it, I was like, oh my God, and we can still do something about it. For example, I'm working with this guy about an amicus brief, and we're going to be collecting signatures, which people aren't going to like it, but you do need to collect personally identifiable information, which will be safe and secure. But we're going to be collecting signatures for an amicus brief, a friend of the court, to kind of like what Ripple did, to submit to the courts that, we actually did sacrifice for freedom of speech, and that we're not victims. We don't feel like we were scammed by Richard. If anything, we're scammed by the SEC, right? But look, I'm going to be doing what I can. That's something within my control, is I can attempt to get out there and get signatures on an amicus brief, right? And people are still going to hate that. Watch, my own community, my own HEX and PulseChain community, there's going to be some miserable people out there that are like, you just want to steal my data. Wah. And it's like, for those people, turn it off, dude. Just unsubscribe. It's going to be okay. You don't have to sign. You don't have to do it. We're just going to take a reading on people, and I'm not going to, it's not ready yet, but we're going to take a litmus test. And if we can get, maybe 100 signatures, then maybe we can get 1,000. If nobody wants to sign, if nobody wants to sign the amicus brief, well, then maybe it's a bad idea. And then we recalibrate, and we tried something and it didn't work. And that's okay too. That's okay too. So you don't have to worry so much about, like, I think people go after you in the legal system in a couple of different ways. And it always starts with throwing the book at you, right? They throw the legal book at you. They'll try to say you're in violation of everything. That's what the SEC is doing. But it could be worse, because it could be, and we'll know it's bad if this happens, if they start banning YouTube channels and censoring free speech just for talking about crypto, then we're actually kind of really in trouble, right? Because then if they start banning people and shutting down their livelihoods, like YouTube, people make money off of YouTube. And if they start banning people for talking about crypto, people will be forced to self-censor. So when you start banning the speech, and even worse, when people start self-censoring, that's like what happened with the pandemic, right? That is the real problem. It's worse than just, they're going to take a few people to court, and some people are going to fight. Some people are going to pay fees to get out of it. That's step one. But I don't think that they are imagining it's going to be that big yet, because they haven't done the censorship thing. And they haven't tried the censorship thing, partially because even JP Morgan is greedy, right? Rockefeller, they want a piece of the action, Jamie Dimon, they already own Bitcoin, right? So it's kind of a blessing in disguise. It's like their own greed is making it so that they're like, well, we don't want to censor Bitcoin. We just want to control it. And little do they know, we've got, crypto is more than just Bitcoin, luckily. So they're allowing innovation to happen while they're trying to get their tentacles into Bitcoin and Ethereum too, by the way. They just launched an Ethereum ETF. So if you haven't heard the news, Ethereum ETF has been launched. That just came out. Ethereum futures ETF, not a spot ETF, but just one more way for the powers that be to get their tentacles in there. The bug-eating overlords, right? But what we have to worry about, is people self-censoring. Some plebs out there are already self-censoring. They're tricking themselves into thinking that this is something to worry about, that it's a scam, or that, it somehow prevents them from buying and investing. It doesn't prevent that at all. In fact, people are still building all around us. 0x Coast, gain PulseChain.com. It's literally a trust fund where you can connect your bank account, and within 5 minutes, transfer money from one bank account to your gain PulseChain.com bank account. Link in description below, guys. And, or actually links on my Twitter. I don't know if the link is in the description. Let me see. GainPulseChain.com. Something that, oh my God, I don't have the link in my description. Geez, what am I doing? Get stable coins on PLS. I'm doing my work right in front of you guys. Sorry. GainPulseChain.com. And what I'm saying is, guys, I'm saying people are every single day building more and more and more. And it's not stopping people. Liquid loans, Patriot, or liquid loans, Fiat, Famous, Mintra. It's all coming out. People aren't stopping, guys. People aren't stopping. Let me save that. Okay, now you can refresh the page if you want to. You can look at my video description, gainpulsechain.com. People are actually buying stuff. They're inventing more roads to PulseChain. Eventually, guys, all roads are going to lead to PulseChain. It's going to be glorious. And we're not giving up, right? Because it's real DeFi, freedom of speech, and they're not censoring that yet. It's decentralized. That doesn't mean centralization and, oh, one guy has more coins than another person. That's every single crypto. 40% of all Bitcoin is controlled by the top 100 addresses. Everything has centralized ownership. Every single coin. Centralized ownership is not the same as centralized from a technical perspective, right? So people are like, PulseChain is not decentralized. Richard owns all the coins. Yeah, but he can't shut it off if he tried. There's 42,000 validators out there, none of which belong to Richard. You're going to go bang on everyone's house and go try to shut everyone down. Everybody in the US, Australia, Ireland, UK, New Zealand, all the other countries. I only mention the English speaking ones because I'm biased because I'm an American. I'm a self-centered, egotistical American. But that's the thing, guys. It's they can't stop it. They can't shut it off. There is no off switch. There's 42,000 off switches. You're going to press all of them at the same time. Which hardware wallet do you I'm sorry, guys. Let me get to questions. Let me go. Khalil says they call it the dark web, yet it's transparent as hell. Well, it's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I mean, yeah, it's like, but the funny thing is, like, even law enforcement, like, they're not smart enough to like catch all of the dark web people at the same time, right? They'll get like one at a time, and it's like a whack-a-mole. It's like a game of whack-a-mole. Which hardware wallet do I recommend? I like Ledger. But they do lose everyone's data from time to time. Not everyone's private keys, but Ledger, one time in the past, they lost everyone's like emails and addresses and phone number, like all their shipping data. So that wasn't cool. That wasn't very cash money of them, but Ledger still makes a very good product. I still enjoy the product. Trezor is also totally fine. I think if you go with Ledger or Trezor, either one of those, totally fine. Totally fine. You got to buy them right from the hardware manufacturer, though. Do not buy them on Amazon. Do not buy them, especially not on eBay. Do not ever buy a used one because you're just asking to get hacked at that point. Try to buy them directly from ledger.com, or I forgot what the Trezor website is. Just Google Trezor. You'll find it. They all support PulseChain, by the way. Ledger actually does support PulseChain. They have a separate app for PulseChain, but you don't even need to use that app. You can just get Ledger and download the Ethereum app. And because Ethereum is an EVM, that stands for Ethereum Virtual Machine, the Ethereum app on the Ledger device is compatible with any other layer 1 blockchain that is also an EVM. And so because PulseChain is a literal clone of Ethereum, it's a clone. PulseChain's a clone of Ethereum. They're both EVMs. They're both Ethereum virtual machines. You don't even need to download a separate app. You can just pop open your Ethereum app, connect to PulseChain on your MetaMask or whatever, and it works just like normal, guys. Just like normal. People need to stop being cowards. Yeah, everyone's on their own timeline. Maybe I should have some more empathy, though. I should have more empathy for people because I understand when people are scared. I understand when people are uncertain, right? But you do have the ability to change your reality. You're not just a victim to whatever the SEC wants to do with Richard. That is like a completely separate issue, Oh my God, Richard pays a fine. Oh my God, Richard fights the SEC. It takes 2 years. It's like that can be going on in the background and you can still show the stuff that you like. You could still onboard new people. You can still build cool new innovations. Or you can just go degen on meme coins. That's what everyone else is doing. That's totally fine too. So it's like when you go through worst case scenario planning in your head and you're like, okay, what's the worst case scenario? Richard goes to jail. How much probability is that? 0.001%. What happens to the PulseChain? Oh, it still runs. What happens to HEX? Oh, 100% uptime. It's going to still be up forever. I'll take the bet, right? I'll take that bet. And I'd really rather swing and miss and all of this go to zero than not have ever tried at all. So even in the 0.1% chance that this all somehow goes to zero, let's say Bitcoin, let's say the whole US government, they get together, they collude and they shut off Ethereum, right? And they say, you can't do Ethereum anymore. And therefore you can't do any other blockchain anymore. Then let's say that actually happens. Well, I would have rather at least attempted to have freedom of speech, freedom of transactions, and real DeFi, right? Separation of money and state. Sawadi ka. We used to have to say that in Muay Thai. Is it Sawadi ka or Sawadi cop? I forgot. There's a different one for female and male. Australians don't speak English, lol. Yeah, they do. Yeah. They cut words in half. They like to dice up their English. They like to cut their words in half. I'll sign the amicus brief. Let's do it. All right. Thanks, Carl. Yeah, look, I'm going to, in the next like week or two, I'm going to be doing some Twitter spaces. I'm going to be hosting them, of course. Not letting anybody else host them. And we'll be taking a litmus test. We're going to be seeing if the amicus brief is a good idea. If people like it, great. If people don't like it, they don't have to sign it. But you bet your ass that people are going to complain and whine for whatever reason, right? Because they're not happy. But I think it's a good idea. It's a good way for us to show the courts, who's really on Team PulseChain, Team Freedom of Speech, and how many people there are out here that are serious about, having actually sacrificed for freedom of speech and wanting the SEC to be very careful in overstepping their boundaries. And we can use AI to craft very legitimate arguments as well, rather than just saying, F you, Gary Guzler, right? Instead of saying F you, Gary Guzler, we can use AI to all sound a little bit smarter, myself included. John Kim says, hi, Coffee. Should I play for the long term or sell my assets to achieve my long-term dream for my parents of buying a house? Oh, well, dude, you could probably do both. You don't have to sell all your assets, right? Like if let's say you've got 10 grand in crypto and then you've got crypto goes up 50x. So you've got 500 grand in crypto. You could sell half of it, right? You could sell 250 grand. You could buy your parents a house and you could still have you could still have like a long-term HEX staking ladder too. You know what I mean? Like you could, John Kim, I think you can do both, man. I say, why play one game over the other? I mean, buying your parents a house, that's pretty badass. I hope you can do it. What's your opinion about Tangent Wallet? I've heard good things. I've been actually meaning to look into Tangent Wallet, and I think they support Pulse, if I'm not mistaken, but it seems like a very solid option as well for safety and security as a hardware wallet. And it seems to be user-friendly as well. I love Coffee, and Gary is a semen demon. Mushroom. Thank you, 1UP. Thank you. Mintra, LOL, 2 more years. Yeah, I know, right? But look, I see Gerardo starting to get bullish. They said they're leaving. Crypto7 says Tangem is amazing. Yep, see, there you go. One more good thing about Tangem, right? Rich May, Mintra, lol, 2 more years. All I wanted to say about this is that Gerardo does seem to be confident. They're launching their final version on the testnet. So I don't know. I think Gerardo said he's excited for October, but obviously he didn't get like a certain deadline or anything. The liquid loans guys, they seem to be giving a certain deadline of October. But we know deadlines. We know deadlines in tech. We know how that goes. Is it better to buy PulseChain or to acquire time dividend tokens and earn PulseChain through transaction fees as internet money wallet? Look, man, I'm going to be very honest with you. All these dividend tokens, it's kind of like a reflection token to me. I like KG. I think his time token will do okay. Especially with being liquidity bonded over on fux.io. But I'm personally more bullish on PulseChain itself, and I would rather take all my dry powder and just invest it into the coin directly, rather than, let's say you put $100 into PulseChain goes up 50x. Great, now you've got $5,000. Let's say you split that money, you put $50 in PulseChain, $50 in time. PulseChain goes up 50x, time goes up 10x, and then you got a tiny little bit of PulseChain rewards the whole time. Well, at the end of the day, man, like at the end of it all, when the dust settles, if you had just put all that money into the concentrated effort into the coin you think is going to go up the most, and this is all based on if you think PulseChain will outperform time, because I think PulseChain will outperform time, I don't care about the dividends. I'd rather put my PulseChain my money into PulseChain. And if I want APY on that, if I want yield on that, maybe I'll just make some yield on a yield farm. Make 10% yield on a yield farm. It's probably more than the time dividends are going to be. Okay. I don't want to offend anybody here. I think I like Internet Money Wallet, time token. I hope it does very well. But me personally, when I'm placing my bets, it's if you think one thing is going to do best, and I'm strongly convinced that PulseChain will outperform many other coins. Maybe not every coin. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. There's going to be 5 out of 1,000 coins that maybe do better than Pulse, under the PulseChain ecosystem umbrella. But I'm not going to pretend like I know what those are. And I'd always rather, and especially in the early days, especially at the bottom of the bear market, like I'd rather concentrate all my dry powder, all my wealth into the coin that goes up way more than split my money into 10 things that pay me a tiny, tiny little bit of interest, tiny little dividends. And those dividends don't make up for, the economic energy I could have gotten if I just put all my eggs in one basket, right? So just beware of over diversification as well. You know what I mean? Definitely signing an amicus brief. Thank you, Scotty. We all should. If Ripple could get 75,000 signatures, we should be able to do the same. I don't know if we can do the same, but I think we can get I think we could get 5,000. 75,000 is a lot. I don't know who is in charge of that, but how about Hulk Hogan? Yeah, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's on Team Pulse. Let's go, baby. Shout out to, who was that guy? Who onboarded Hulk Hogan? There's some news for you guys. Hulk Hogan is now a PulseChain community member. He's a PulseChain enthusiast. It was Corey Geary. Shout out to Corey Geary. There's an awesome picture on Twitter of him onboarding Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan. Man, that guy's jacked, by the way. All right. Mo Million says, game theory, if you believe the price is going down, you add liquidity. If you believe the price is going up, you remove liquidity. Add benefits. Add benefits. You receive more Pulse, PulseX, and HEX receive Inc. What? Ah, man, this question's hard for me to understand, dude. So look, stablecoin liquidity. If you pair PulseChain to USDC, you're saying, I believe that, people are, the price is probably going down because I'm going to end up with more people. No. How do I say this? It's not really the right way to put it, right? If you want a dollar cost average in to a coin, you could provide stable coin liquidity. You could provide, one stable on one side and one pulse on the other side, right? And this would be a good way for, when people are selling into you, if it's a bear market and you want to accumulate on the way down, you could provide USDC PLS. It's really complicated. I don't know. Dude, you got to use spaces in your, I don't understand. I don't understand the question. Also, higher liquidity slowing the downtrend, removing benefit. Thicker liquidity will make it harder for the price to generally move around, but it also makes it easier for people to take a lot of profit, right? Thinner liquidity makes it easier for the price to go up and down. Yeah, that's true. It makes it more volatile. It also gets people to empty their bags quicker, right? So relatively thin liquidity. Yeah, thinner liquidity will make the price more volatile. You got to word those questions better. Yo Mammy says, hey, thank you for the tip, by the way. I am PLS News. I'm late to the live. There's not much news there, but they added a Spark PLS pool. So they're being friendly with Spark Swap. They're being friendly with Daytona. People are still dumping the coin, though. And I believe, look, I'm not an expert in yield farming. I'm not sure how to get the yield farm token to be stickier, but what I can tell you is that what Spark Swap seems to be doing, having higher liquidity pools, seems to be working for them. A referral program might help. Daytona tried that. 4% in and out tax, or a 2% deposit and withdrawal fee. That seems to work for a lot of people too, because it makes them keep their liquidity in there for longer. And it might prevent them from, I don't know. I don't know why, but you don't have to have any skin in the game to join Impulse. So a lot of people, when they're getting the Impulse token, they seem to just be selling it slowly. But the really cool thing that Impulse is doing, I can say good and bad things about everything, right? One good thing that Impulse is doing is they have a unique token model, a unique supply model where they only will ever be 300,000 coins. And the emissions have only allowed, I think, 55,000 to exist so far. So it's very, very low market cap, very, very low coin supply. And you could see how people might perceive that to have more upside potential. But no, it's a solid yield farm. I like it. I like it as a yield farm. It's a good place. I mean, obviously never put all your eggs in one. All of this stuff could fail, right? But you could park your HEX Pulse liquidity in there. You could park your PulseX liquidity. You can now park your Daytona Pulse liquidity. You could also park your Spark Pulse liquidity, all in Impulse. But, I don't know. I haven't seen them doing a lot of marketing either. That might help a little bit more. People just might not know about this one as much. But it's out there. It's out there, and it works fine for now. It's been working fine for 2 months, I think. Yo, Mammy, thank you for the tip. Buck is the new RH. RH is Satoshi. All eyes on PH. Yeah, that's funny. It's a funny way to put it. RH is Satoshi fading into... No. Guys, Richard's going to be back. Here's one more thing I want to say, guys. Richard will be back for the glory. He will be back. He needs to keep his mouth shut right now because he needs to get all this legal bullshit out of the way. And he needs to focus on building right now. So people don't realize, people don't see you when you're building, right? Like, that's what I've been saying. I've been building my course and people think I stopped streaming. It's like, I'm working very hard in the background, right? People need to go where they're maximally effective. Richard Hart right now at this point in time is maximally effective doing building on PulseChain, probably building more things on PulseX, privacy solutions, new yield farms, perhaps. And he's not even that worried about the SEC, guys. He shows his confidence in winning. He shows you with his tweets that he is confident in winning, confident in fighting, and that his legal knowledge is probably better than a lot of lawyers out there. And I'm sure he's got a legal team. Don't worry. I'm sure he's got lawyers as well as himself. But a guy as smart as Richard, with good lawyers, with a shit ton of money, I'm not worried about him losing. And even if he loses, I'm not worried about him paying a fine because he could probably easily pay them off with their extortion fee and be on the way. You could still buy and trade the products. The SEC can't shut the products off. So Richard needs to be building right now. And one day when this is over, this might be a year from now, it might be 2 years from now, Richard will be back for the glory. In my humble opinion, Richard will be back to come brag, especially when the bull market comes back. But look at it this way, right? During the last bear market, when HEX was all super down and everybody was complaining that they thought HEX was dead, Richard Hart was out here streaming every day, and it didn't stop people from dumping, right? It didn't stop people from being bearish. When people are bearish, it doesn't matter how many times you get on a live stream. I mean, I guess it does matter. It does matter. Everything you do matters, right? Public perception matters. But if the macro economy is still super bearish, then the most effective place for a guy like Richard to be is not streaming. It's building. It's building better products so that when the bull comes back, we've got a much better ecosystem to shoot, rocket ship to the moon, and we'll just be that better off. Okay. But yeah, right now, Buck is doing a pretty good job of giving me some free money over on Fox and Famous and Fiat. So thank you, Buck. Thank you, Buck. He's our stand-in Richard. Hold the line, Cody. DCA and have faith. Okay. What are we talking about? Richard is way too loud to sit on the sidelines forever. I agree. Lights out. Satoshi doesn't tweet. That's true. Richard's tweeting. Richard's letting us know that he's still alive. He may talk in the third person, but he's still alive, right? Strange guy, that Richard. Love him, though. Richard, shout out to you, buddy. Bro Chacho. I know one day you'll be back to dance on the graves of all the haters. So until that day, I will do my best to shill Richard. Sir Richard, I will shill in your honor. Hey, Sailor, where are we on the waters above prediction timeline? How you doing, Mark? Good to see you, man. Where are we on the waters above prediction timeline? Yeah, well, he was right about HEX going to 0.003, but, a lot of people are sleeping on PHEX right now. So a lot of the mainstream influencers are totally ignoring that there is a totally new price chart for HEX. It's the PulseChain native HEX, and it started over from 0. So that price chart is brand new. It's a fresh price chart. Infinite upside potential, blue skies ahead. But Waters Above was right. He was right about September being a terrible dog shit month. And lucky for us, September is one day away from being over. And we got the full moon, and we can get on with the next cycle, Uptober. And so I think Waters Above he didn't really want to make predictions about the PHEX price or even the PulseChain price, because I think what he basically said was that, there's not enough chart history for him to really do his technical analysis for it to really give him any confidence. But it all just comes down to the greater market, the greater macro conditions, right? I can make a prediction. I think we're going to go up as long as the Bitcoin halving is on the way. The ETFs are on the way. People are building in PulseChain day and night. Hundreds of YouTubers, giant raving lunatic Twitter community, of which I am a member, and we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. It might take another couple months, but looking forward to the fall, right? Seasonality. Hey, maybe you could say it's October, September, October, November. It's the fall. It's going to be the winter soon. Maybe people are going to go back inside. They're going to go back to their desks. They'll be indoors again. During the pandemic, it was a little bit different because everybody was forced to be inside. But maybe crypto does better when people are stuck inside. Maybe the wintertime, crypto does better because everyone's at their computer. And maybe people do more work. They do more research. They do more building. I don't know. That's just a thought when it comes to seasonality. What do you think about Mission to Mars sacrifice? I've never heard of that one. I can't tell you. Cannot tell you. Maddie built Time Pays Me. Yeah, if you guys want to lock up your PLS, not the worst idea, not your whole PLS stack, but if you want to lock up a couple million Pulse, just to make sure that it's coming unlocked during 2025 or whatever, 2024, it could potentially save yourself from yourself. Check out timepays.me. It's just a way to time lock your PulseChain to protect yourself from your own psychology, if that's something that you want, right? PulseChain Tour. Let's not forget PulseChain Tour, guys. Coming to very successful PulseChain Tour in Atlanta. Very, very successful. The whole blockchain center in Atlanta welcomed us with open arms. Welcome to SJ. I wasn't there. And yeah, they're going to Miami, Austin. Guys, just go to pulsechaintour.com. Get your tickets. What are you doing? Especially if you're in Miami, guys. If you're in Miami, go to the PulseChain Tour. It's a great networking opportunity. Great way to find out what's happening in PulseChain. Maybe meet other projects. Maybe show your own project, right? We get people that come in. They've got their own thing going on. They want to launch on PulseChain, like Recordian, right? Those guys are doing like some music type of stuff on the blockchain. Music NFTs, I think. I'm probably butchering that. Miami, then Dallas, then Austin. Hit the like for coffee. Smash the like. Smash the subscribe. Hey, share the video. Leave a comment. Everything you do, every little thing you do matters, okay? Every little thing you do in the background. It doesn't have to be streaming, but we can all change the outcome here, okay? It doesn't have to be rolling the dice. It doesn't have to be spinning a wheel of fortune, okay? We can help ensure that PulseChain does well and HEX does well, but we need to talk about it. We just got to yap. We got to flap our lips, guys. We just got to talk about it. We got to network, build the community, build a project. If you're a smart guy, or if you want to get rich, go build a meme coin. See how that works out for you. Or just chill your good old fashioned PulseChain HEX bags. Educate people about what's going on here, because it could change people's lives again in the next bull market. It could. It's not a guarantee, though. None of this is given to us, right? So all these people lurking in Telegram, hoping and praying, armchair quarterbacks out there, it's a call to action, right? And you have a lot more peace of mind knowing that you at least tried, right? You have a lot more sense of like, at least I'm trying to make a business. At least I'm trying to onboard people. If this doesn't work out, at least I took a valid swing, right? It really is a lot easier to get through the bear market that way. It's a lot easier than just hoping and praying that somebody else comes along and says, PulseChain is great. Buy my bag. But trust me, guys, when the bull market sentiment comes back, it really just has everything to do with psychology. It has everything to do with the mass psychology of everybody. And people are scared right now. People don't feel like, ask somebody on the street how they feel about the economy right now. I would venture to guess that they're probably like, I don't know, something's wrong. I heard we're in a recession, or like, I know a guy that got fired, or like, I heard that they're printing money, or there might be a new pandemic, or the war is going to make everybody poor again. I don't know. But people are not, people are not exuberant. They're not euphoric. They're fear-based right now. So you buy the fear, you be a contrarian. Do what Somi says. Be a contrarian. You do what people aren't doing, and you think long-term, and you'll generally be pretty good. And, if you're not making money to put into crypto, then just focus on making money, right? Focus on what you can control. So focus on your business. That's what I'm going back to right now. Going back to actually getting my business up and running again. Took a little break. Got a little distracted with all the PulseChain stuff. But Crypto Coffee, thanks for your insight, Steve Wright. Thank you, Steve Wright. Thank you for watching. Knox Bill, yo! What's up, sir? AJ Rip City Hex says rocket ship emoji, muscle emoji. I couldn't agree more, AJ. I could not agree more. Guys, what are we doing? We're talking for an hour and 14 minutes. Suppo Man is waiting for Pulse to hit 0.00001. Yeah, is he really? Oh, look, Suppo Man is a friend. Okay. I like Suppaman. He's not an asshole. He's offered an olive branch to the HEX community. He's not basically, it's so sad, but I like anybody that doesn't actively shit on us. That's all it takes. I'm a simple man. That's all it takes. So, but I do think Suppaman is wrong if this is what he thinks. If he's waiting for PulseChain to dip another 75% from here, look, this is the kind of mentality that'll keep you, it'll keep you never getting in, right? That, oh, it's going to go lower. It's going to go lower. It's going to go lower. And maybe you buy and then it dips 50% the next day. Well, then you can dollar cost average as long as your thesis long-term, your investment thesis in the next 2 years to 5 years is that prices at some point in the next 2 to 5 years will be higher than they are today. Because you might regret waiting for another zero to drop, right? You might regret waiting for 75% dip after a 65% dip, right? I think we're at what, a 67% dip right now off of the sacrifice prices. So you're waiting for a 75% dip after a 65% dip. Suppaman, I don't know, man. Like, he's also saying that. I mean, people say that sometimes, but they've already established their positions, and sometimes they just want to buy more. So I feel like Suppaman, there's a good chance he's already bought, because I remember he was signaling early on. He was very interested in PulseChain. He was very interested in admitting that, okay, maybe HEX wasn't a scam. You know what I mean? He was one of the guys that is open-minded enough to realize, okay, maybe I thought HEX was a scam. I thought Richard was going to rug pull everybody, but he didn't. And it's been 4 years now. So maybe Richard's actually serious. Maybe he's actually serious about wanting to make good products and wanting to make people wealthy. Call me crazy, right? I thought that was the case on day one, but some people it takes 4 years. But hey, you got a fresh start. Brand new blockchain, brand new PHEX chart. PulseX is in the shitter. So 90% discount on PulseX. It's in the toilet. Nobody wants to put their hand in the toilet, though. That's the thing. Nobody wants to grab that turd in the toilet. But sometimes if you do, you'll find out it was made of gold. That was a weird metaphor. Sorry about that one. I'll be surprised if we go that low, but who knows? I will be surprised too, Golden. I'll be surprised too. What's up, Coffee? Saying hi from London. Thank you, Dr. JT James. Hello from Chicago. Much love through the bear. PulseX coming. Yep, their time will come. Their time will come. And guys, whether or not it does another 10,000x, probably not. 1,000x, maybe, probably not. But I'll take a 200x. You know, like I'll take a 100x even. That's life-changing money anyway, right? Every cycle does have diminishing gains. But you also got to think about it this way. People's estimates get a lot lower in the bear market because they'll be like, oh, they'll do what I just did. You know, I'll be happy with just a 50x. I'll be happy with just a 100x. And then we get a 50x and they're like, we're doing 1,000x. We're doing 10,000x. Everybody rocket ship to the moon. And then at some point in between there, it tops out. Maybe it tops out at 250x for the cycle, right? But again, if you've got a longer time frame, everyone thinks they're going to get in and out in 2 years and be rich, right? But if you got a time frame of 7, 8, 9 years, if you can survive, take profit in one cycle and survive till the next cycle, then you go from rich to wealthy, right? That's real money. For people that just got into crypto, I've been in crypto for 9 years now. And the only reason I'm not uber wealthy and I'm only rich. Oh no, poor little Coffee over here. Is because I did a bunch of things wrong in the first 4 years. I day traded. I chased shit coins. I chased pumps. I read the news. I overextended myself. I over diversified. I had shiny object syndrome. I didn't have a long-term holding mindset. And these are all the types of things that I'm just trying to tell people so that they can cut off that extra 4 years of mistakes that I made. And you're still not going to get rich overnight. And you're not even going to get rich in 2 years. Or, well, it's possible. But you're not going to get super duper rich in 2 years. You might get kind of rich in 2 years. But I mean, you got to survive for longer than a cycle too if you want real wealth as well. So trust me, I will be taking profits a lot more though. I will be taking profits a lot more responsibly than I have in the past. And it only took me 8 years to learn. So I guess just learn from my mistakes, right? That's kind of all. That's in a nutshell. That's what I'm trying to do here. Educate people about how to use all this stuff and tell people what not to do, because I've When it comes to what not to do, I've done it all. That is actually true. I can say that with confidence. Did you just say there might be a golden turd? Yeah. Sometimes I just talk and I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I just keep talking. So it turns out you can polish turds after all. That's right. The amount of PulseX burned is so staggering. Yeah, it's pretty staggering. What is it, like 1% of the total supply? Hold on, we can go find out, can't we? Let's go find out PulseX being burned. How much PulseX was burned? 456 billion. 2.2% of the circulating supply. Assuming that the origin address is never going to touch those coins, which they probably won't. And if not, if we include the origin address, then we've got 0.3%. I mean, at this rate, we're burning like, what, 4% of the supply a year? So, I mean, in 3 years supply, we're going to burn like 15% of the coins, 12%. It's just going to keep on getting scarcer. And burning is one thing, but it's getting bought as well. It's getting purchased on the market. I agree. Time in the market with good assets is like the deciding factor on real wealth. It's time in the market, lights out. You're correct. Not timing the market, time in the market. I can't believe there's 200 people here. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming. Smash the like, subscribe, share the video with a friend. Keep an eye out for my new course, hexpassiveincome.com version 2. If you want to join the mailing list, feel free. Every existing members of the existing course, they're going to get the upgrade for free. I'm kind of hoping for some testimonials, some positive reviews. So I'm going to give all the existing course members my new course for free, but keep an eye out. Hoping to be done within the next, I would say 2 months at the most, because I'm going to Puerto Rico pretty soon. That's gonna throw a wrench in my life, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be awesome. Smashing knocks. Yeah, guys. Hey, smash the like, tickle that subscribe button, give it a lick, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for coming. And guys, one last thing too. I just want to provide value for people. So ask questions, ask meaningful questions in the comments if you want, or feel free to join my Patreon and ask me questions there. And all that stuff really matters. It helps shape the future of the channel. It helps drive the next content that I'm going to be making, right? So do you want to hear more about the SEC? Do you want to hear more about liquid loans? Do you want to hear more about yield farming strategies? What do you want? I need to know what you guys want, man. So tell me, either on, Twitter or whatever. Yeah, I'll see you on the next.